When it comes to love and relationships, people often find themselves drawn to their polar opposites. Sometimes, someone's perceived weakness becomes their greatest strength and vice versa. This dynamic isn't just limited to real life, it's a captivating trope in anime too. Whether it's a character with a troubled past, flawed behavior, or someone labeled as ugly by society, there will always be those who see beyond the surface. These stories remind us that flaws don't define worth, and anime takes this idea to heart. That's why today's video dives into a fascinating theme. Anime where the ugly guy is loved by the beautiful girl, and yes, this works both ways. From misunderstood underdogs to societal outcasts, we'll explore how these characters win hearts despite, or because of, their quirks. Before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more anime discussions. Drop a comment below, what's your favorite opposites attract anime? Your engagement keeps this channel growing. Alright, let's jump into the list. First up, we've got My Love Story, the rom-com that flips the script on classic anime romance by swapping tropes and serving wholesome vibes. At the center is Takeo Goda, a hunky, 6-foot-plus high schooler with a heart of gold. Think gentle giant vibes. He's all about helping others, even if his muscles and scowl make people think he's a troublemaker. Meanwhile, every girl in school crushes on his best friend, Sanakawa, the quiet, pretty boy type. Talk about unfair, right? But everything changes when Takeo saves Rinko Yamato, a tiny, sunshiny girl, from a creep on a train. Instead of running away, Rinko falls head over heels for him. Not his looks, but his bravery and kindness. Suddenly, Takeo's stuck navigating a relationship where he's the cute one, not the intimidating dude everyone assumes he is. It's a wild ride of self-doubt, awkward dates, and learning to see himself through Rinko's eyes. Now, why's this an ugly guy / beautiful girl gem? Takeo's built like a superhero, but society treats him like a villain, until Rinko swoops in. She's drawn to his mushy core, not his muscles, which totally upends the usual hot guy plus shy girl trope. The show nails how love isn't about appearances, it's about seeing someone's soul. Plus, Sanakawa's here for moral support, cheering Takeo on even though he's the one everyone else wants. What else? The anime mixes slapstick humor, think Takeo lifting cars like they're toys, with genuine emotional beats. There are no messy love triangles, just two people figuring out how to trust each other and grow. It's sweet, funny, and refreshingly real. If you're tired of predictable rom-coms, My Love Story is the wholesome escape you need. At number 2, we've got The Wallflower, a reverse harem rom-com that flips the ugly guy / beautiful girl trope by putting a self-proclaimed ugly girl center stage. Meet Sanako Nakahara, a reclusive horror movie addict who's convinced she's hideous after her middle school crush cruelly rejected her. Forced to live with 4 drop-dead gorgeous guys in a lavish mansion, she's on a messy, hilarious journey to confront her insecurities and redefine what beauty even means. Here's the twist. While it's not your classic, plain girl plus hot guy setup, the anime dismantles beauty standards by showing how Sanako's quirks, confidence, and dark humor make her shine, way brighter than any perfect lady her aunt wants her to become. The 4 guys aren't just eye candy, they're her cheer squad, helping her realize that true appeal comes from owning who you are. Why watch? It's a chaotic blend of slapstick humor, think Sanako freaking out over sparkly dresses, and heartfelt moments of self-worth. Plus, it's a rare reverse harem where the girl's growth isn't about landing a man, it's about her learning to love herself, scars and all. If you're into stories about smashing societal expectations while laughing at dudes in frilly aprons, this one's for you. The next one on this list, we've got No Matter How I Look at It, It's You Guys' Fault I'm Not Popular, a dark comedy gem that tricks you into thinking it's a romance anime, but is really a masterclass in cringe, growth, and defying labels. Tomoko Kuroki is a walking paradox. She's cute, but she's convinced she's a Mojio, a girl with no luck in love. Armed with social anxiety and a flair for dramatic delusions, she blames everyone but herself for her loneliness, like her brother, who's effortlessly popular, or her classmates, who just don't get her vibe. Think awkward confessions, failed attempts at cool girl hobbies, and a running gag where she mistakes basic interactions for romantic breakthroughs. Now, why's this get lumped into the ugly guy / beautiful girl trope? Because Tomoko's internal ugliness, her insecurities, self-sabotage, and delusions clash with her external beauty. It's like the trope flipped. Instead of a guy hiding a kind heart under a rough exterior, she's a girl masking her self-doubt with cynicism. But don't expect a love story here. This is about Tomoko's messy, hilarious journey to stop blaming the world and start confronting her own hang-ups. Bonus chaos. The anime skewers societal pressure to fit in while serving up surreal humor, like Tomoko's rivalry with a vending machine. And that title? It's her anthem. A sarcastic middle finger to everyone who's ever made her feel less than. If you love antiheroes, awkwardness, and a heroine who's equal parts tragic and iconic, this one's for you. Next, we've got 3D Kanojo, Real Girl, a shoujo romance that flips the beautiful girl plus ugly guy trope by asking, what if ugly isn't about looks, but how the world sees you? Hikaru Tutsui is your classic otaku, a quiet, socially awkward dude who'd rather binge anime than deal with real people. He's labeled an outcast, not for his appearance, but for his introverted vibe and zero chill around girls. Enter Iroha Otomo, the school's it girl with a smile that hides a messy past and rumors about her love life. When these two misfits collide, it's not insta-love, it's a slow burn of awkward confessions, mutual healing, and learning to see each other's real selves. Here's the twist, Hikaru's ugliness isn't physical, it's societal. His lack of confidence and otaku quirks make him invisible to his peers, while Iroha's popularity masks her loneliness. But instead of judging him for his hobbies or awkwardness, Iroha digs deeper, falling for his genuine heart and quiet strength. It's a classic trope flipped, she's the beautiful one with scars, and he's the ugly guy with hidden depths. Why watch? The anime nails the cringe and the catharsis of growing up. Think Hikaru fumbling through dates while overthinking every move, Iroha breaking down her perfect facade, and both of them fighting societal labels like the stigma against otakus. Plus, their relationship is a masterclass in patience, no love triangles, just two people learning to trust and accept each other's flaws. If you're into raw, heartfelt stories about outcasts finding love in a world that doesn't get them, this one's a gem. In this next one, we've got Midori Days, a wild rom-com where dating your hand isn't a joke, it's the plot. Meet Seiji Sawamura, a scowling, fist-first delinquent who's more likely to punch a guy than hold hands. But when Midori Kasagano, a girl who's secretly obsessed with him, magically shrinks into a tiny version of herself and fuses to his right hand, Seiji's life goes from chaotic to straight-up surreal. Think of it like The Little Mermaid. If Ariel was a girl living on a thug's palm and singing was replaced with extremely awkward attempts at feeding her. Here's why it's a twisted, ugly guy / beautiful girl's story. Seiji's ugliness isn't his looks, it's his reputation. He's a walking disaster of bad decisions and street fights, making everyone, including himself, assume he's a lost cause. Midori, meanwhile, is sweetness incarnate, gentle, patient, and way too good for a guy who once tried to date 20 girls in one day. But instead of falling for his muscles or his bad boy vibe, she digs deeper, seeing the loyalty and protectiveness he hides under his scowl. Why watch? It's a mess of slapstick humor. Seiji trying to bathe Midori is a masterpiece of cringe and genuine heart. The fantasy setup forces these two to confront their flaws. Seiji learns to soften up, while Midori gains the confidence to stand on her own, literally. Plus, it's a rare anime that turns man versus self into man versus tiny girl attached to his hand. If you're into romance that's equal parts absurd and wholesome, this one's for you. Next up, we've got Lovely Complex, a rom-com that turns short king and tall queen into a love story for the ages. Risa Koizumi is the tallest girl in school, towering over everyone like a basketball star, while Atsushio Otani is the shortest guy, perpetually mistaken for a middle schooler. Their classmates dubbed them the all-Hanshin Kaijin comedy duo, Google it. It's a Japanese height joke, forcing them together despite their constant bickering. But under the chaos, Risa's secretly insecure about never finding a guy who'll look up to her, literally, and Otani's tired of being seen as a joke instead of a potential boyfriend. Here's the twist, neither is ugly, but society treats them that way. Risa's height makes her feel too much, while Otani's stature makes him feel not enough. Yet their chemistry is fire. Risa's boldness balances Otani's quiet kindness, and their banter hides a mutual respect that blossoms into something real. It's not about looks, it's about growth. They help each other confront insecurities, whether it's Risa learning to embrace her height or Otani proving he's more than a punchline. Why should you watch? The anime nails the slapstick like Otani on a chair to kiss Risa, iconic while serving raw, relatable moments of self-worth. It's a slow-burn romance where opposites attract isn't just a gimmick, it's a journey of two misfits rewriting the rules of love. If you're into couples who fight, flirt, and eventually figure it out, this one's a classic. Next up, we've got Kiss Him, Not Me, a reverse harem rom-com where a Fujoshi's anime-induced breakdown accidentally turns her into a beautiful girl, and chaos ensues. Kei Saranuma is a self-proclaimed otaku who's happiest shipping anime boys, until her favorite character dies, sending her into a spiral of grief and junk food-fueled despair. But when she emerges 10 pounds lighter, her classmates suddenly see her as a hot girl, and four dudes, a jock, a stoic rich kid, a shy cutie, and her childhood friend, start tripping over themselves to date her. The catch? Kei couldn't care less about romance, she's too busy trying to pair up other guys as her Fujoshi alter ego. Here's the twist, while Kei's new look makes her society approved, she still feels like the same ugly girl inside, awkward, insecure, and convinced she's not girlfriend material. But the guys? They're into her because of her quirks, her yaoi obsession, her clumsiness, and her habit of prioritizing fictional ships over real dates. It's the ugly guy/beautiful girl trope flipped. Kei's beauty is skin deep, but her personality is what makes her shine. Why watch? It's a hilarious mess of accidental romance, fourth wall breaks, wait till she ships herself with the cast, and Kei's internal battle between self-doubt and self-love. The anime pokes fun at shallow crushes while proving that authenticity, whether you're a fujoshi or a jock, is what truly attracts people. Plus, it's the only harem where the girl's biggest competition is her own shipping list. If you're into heroines who'd rather write fanfiction than play the girl, this one's for you. In this next one, we've got After the Rain, a quiet, achingly human romance that asks, what if your first love is old enough to be your dad? Akira Tachibana is a 17-year-old extract star whose career and confidence crumbles after a leg injury. Stuck working at a restaurant, she fixates on Masami Kondo, her 45-year-old manager, a divorced, mild-mannered guy who's more likely to apologize than flirt. But Akira's not deterred by his age, his rumpled sweaters, or the fact that he's terrible at reading her vibes. To her, Kondo's quiet strength and empathy are a lifeline after her world fell apart. Here's the twist. This isn't your typical ugly guy story. Kondo's ugliness isn't physical, it's societal. He's middle-aged, unassuming, and carrying the weight of a failed marriage, making him an unlikely romantic lead in anyone's eyes except Akira's. Meanwhile, she's young, vibrant, and beautiful by conventional standards, but her attraction isn't shallow. She falls for Kondo's emotional maturity and the way he sees her, not her broken dreams. It's a trope flipped. The beautiful girl chasing a man the world overlooks, not the other way around. Why watch? The anime trades drama for subtlety. Think long, lingering glances, awkward lunches, and Akira's inner monologue spiraling between teenage idealism and grown-up heartbreak. It's a story about healing, Akira learning to let go of perfection, Kondo rediscovering self-worth, and how love can bloom in the quietest moments. Plus, it's a rare age gap romance that doesn't sensationalize, it just exists, tender and bittersweet. If you're into slow burns that feel like real life, this one's for you. Next, we've got I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying, a slice-of-life comedy that flips the beautiful girl plus ugly guy trope into a love story about quirks, compromises, and anime figurines. Meet Kaoru, a 25-year-old office worker who's all about responsibility and routine. Now meet her husband, Hajime, a 23-year-old unemployed otaku who spends his days blogging about anime, collecting figurines, and generally being the opposite of what you'd call husband goals. Their marriage is less romantic getaway and more how do I explain this to my coworkers as they navigate their wildly different lifestyles. Here's the twist. Hajime isn't ugly in the traditional sense, but he's ugly by societal standards. His disheveled look, neat status, and obsession with otaku culture make him an unconventional partner for someone like Kaoru, who's polished, practical, and conventionally attractive. But here's the kicker. Kaoru loves him anyway, not because he's handsome or successful, but because he's kind, genuine, and unapologetically himself. It's the ugly guy/beautiful girl trope turned inward. It's not about looks, it's about accepting each other's flaws. Why watch? The anime leans into absurd comedy, like Hajime's cross-dressing friend Yuta showing up to add chaos while keeping things sweet and relatable. Each episode is only 3 minutes long, so it's packed with quick laughs and tiny moments of marital truth. Think of it as the ultimate reminder that love doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. If you're into bite-sized stories about couples who are weird but totally adorable, this one's for you. And lastly, we've got Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, a meta rom-com that's basically what if your crush thought you were a fan, and you just went with it? Chiyo Sakura is a classic shoujo heroine, cute, earnest, and head over heels for her classmate, Nozaki, a brooding, talented manga artist who's oblivious to everything. When she confesses her feelings, he hands her an autograph instead of a date, mistaking her for a fan of his girly romance comics, which he writes under a fake girl name, naturally. What follows is a parade of absurdity. Chiyo becomes his reluctant assistant, helping him research manga tropes while trying to drop hints about her crush, which Nozaki interprets as helpful feedback for my next chapter. Here's the twist. Nozaki's not ugly in the traditional sense, he's tall, handsome, and popular, but he's emotionally clueless, making him the ultimate ugly guy in romance. Chiyo's stuck in a loop of shoujo cliches, dramatic confessions that flop, accidental kisses he doesn't notice, and rivals like the flamboyant Mikorin who actually understand flirting. It's a parody of the trope itself, the beautiful girl chasing a guy who's romantically illiterate, while the story mocks every awkward manga convention in the book. Why watch? The anime thrives on irony and chaos. Think Nozaki dragging Chiyo to study dates at the zoo for manga research, or his tsundere friend Seo accidentally stealing the spotlight. It's a love letter to shoujo tropes and a giant roast of them. If you're into meta humor, cringeworthy misunderstandings, and a heroine who's this close to giving up but still can't quit her disaster of a crush, this one's a riot. And that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this dive into anime where ugly guys win the hearts of beautiful girls, and vice versa. If you found this list insightful or entertaining, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more anime deep dives. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment below. What other anime fit the pretty girl plus ugly guy trope? Which of these relationships surprised you the most? Do you ship these pairings as much as I do? Your thoughts fuel these videos, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Whether you're here for the first time or have been part of this community for ages, your support means the world. Until next time, keep celebrating the beauty and imperfection. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.